Hi everybody, welcome to 5 Minute Ministries. We're continuing on with the sin of gossip, the little sin of gossip. Now I call it little because it seems like everybody does it. I do it, you do it, and sometimes we don't mean to, and sometimes we go out of our way to do it. Now last time we talked about gossip and how it begins. What are the things that propel gossip? Well, now I want to talk about why it's a sin. Well, you may think, well, what's the big deal? Everybody does it. I'm just talking about somebody to another person, and well, it's not going any further necessarily, and we're not really damaging anything. We're not hurting anybody. But most certainly you are. The Bible warns about it for a reason. Now, I want to talk about some of the things that make it a sin. Now, first of all, it destroys. You can consult Proverbs 18:6-8, James 3:4-8, and Matthew 15:11 for some examples of what I'm talking about. When you talk about people, it creates a problem, and it chips away at the character of the person about whom you're speaking. Now, even if the information is true, that doesn't mean you run around and tell everybody about it. You don't have to discuss it and how bad a person is, or even sometimes, unfortunately, we feel gleeful when we talk about these things, or we feel justified about why we're talking about these things. And we just chip away at somebody, whether deservingly or not. It doesn't matter whether they deserve it or not. We're not to be doing that. And because you get somebody on your side and feed into the negative things that you're already saying. So yes, it does destroy, whether you think so or not. Well, it can become slander. Now, it goes beyond just that, did you hear this and that, and things start being, to a degree, made up. And the things escalate. It's a snowball effect. What you're talking about will just grow and grow and grow, and it ultimately becomes something that just simply isn't true if it's allowed to continue. Proverbs 16:28, Romans 1:28-32 are examples of that. You consult those, you'll see just how when you talk about people, that it just continues on. It really doesn't stop unless somebody stops it. Another one, reason it's a sin, it causes mistrust. I want you to think about this. If somebody is willing to talk to you about someone else, what are they saying when you aren't around? And if you're willing to listen to it and everyone knows it, people aren't going to trust information with you, even if it's information that you need to know. And that happens all the time, especially in the workplace. And even in churches, unfortunately. When we have this thing where we're constantly talking about each other behind our backs and we don't trust each other, there becomes a lot of paranoia, a lot of disgruntledness, a lot of bitterness that does not need to be there. So what can we do about it? First of all, keep your mouth shut. Proverbs 17:28. Now, don't continue on with it. If gossip comes to you, either stop it or let it stop with you. You do not need to spread it. It's going to happen anyway, but that doesn't mean you have to contribute. Another way, stop the gossip with you, or prevent the person from telling you, which I already said, Proverbs 20:19. If you know information, or you can stop the information, do so. Another thing we can do is be careful what you say, how you say it, and to whom you say it. Some things do need to be said. Some certain information needs to be relayed. But how much of it, who hears this information, and how you do it are all important. Is it information for information's sake, or is it the idea that you want a negative affliction on it? Or do you want someone to think a certain way? Or do you want everyone to know so you know just who to tell for that everyone to know? We have to be very careful with that. And of course, if you talk about people, say good things. Now, Philippians 4:8 says, whatever things are true, lovely, just, honest, of virtuous, of good report, of any praise, think on these things, but also say them. This has been 5 Minute Ministries, and I'll see you next time.